I came across this 1999 Mustang SVT Cobra that was for sale on the Mod Motor Mustangs classified page on Facebook. And it made me really upset because the guy was like, if nobody buys this car, I'm going to scrap it. This is a very beautiful car. It's got 153,000 miles on it. Now, it's not low mileage, and the car does have a salvage title because it was hit in the quarter panel back in 1999 when it was brand new. But the car did spin a rod bearing, so the engine needs to be taken apart and rebuilt. We are getting to a time now where these cars are dropping in value enough that people are more interested in parting them out instead of just enjoying them. If people want to get their money back out of these cars, they're willing to sell the parts of them. Like somebody had said, I got dibs on that front bumper, and other people were saying, I want the engine, I want this, I want that. But you have a real 99 Cobra here that is up for grabs, and I think for a great price. The guy was asking like $2,500 for it. And I think that would make a great daily driver for somebody, especially somebody like me. When I was 16, I got my first Mustang, and it was a 97 V6 5-speed, and I was thrilled to have it. And I could only dream of what it would have been like to have a Cobra like this. Personally, I think we're getting into a generation where the younger people are so young compared to when these cars came out that they've never seen these as such desirable, expensive, and hard to obtain cars. I had friends recently who had just turned 16, 17, and they were getting Mach 1s and Cobras and things, and I couldn't believe how lucky they are at that age to have such a car. That was totally out of the question when I was that age. And frankly, I don't think they deserve to have that car at that age. I think they should have started with something lesser like a V6, and then they would have been more grateful for these cars. This Cobra looks like it has almost all the original parts on it that it did when it was born. And it even has these amber taillights in it. These amber taillights are becoming very sought after and very expensive. Now, these are export taillights. Also, they were on the export Mustangs that went to certain countries, but these were only found in the 99 and 2001 Cobras. The 2002 Australian ones had them. I believe the Cobra R had them as well. And a lot of people want them for their Mustangs, their New Edge body style Mustangs. And even in this post, people were like, I got dibs on those taillights, I want them. They're like vultures. People just want their parts. And I understand where they're coming from. They want to make their cars nice, everything. But it just seems like now everyone just wants to take all these cars apart and strip them down. And somebody had commented on one of my videos about these taillights or somewhere in there and said anytime they see 99 Cobra parts for sale like that, like the taillights, they most likely know that the car's been parted out or lost or wrecked or something. And so it just shows how rare these are getting. There's no way to tell how many of these are really around. Now, when the guy who posted this said he was going to scrap it, I'm sure he just wanted to get some attention and get people interested and get somebody pushed to go ahead and come buy the car. They're playing off heartstrings, kind of like how I'd be. If this car was in my area for $2,500, I'd probably go buy it. But it's halfway across the country, and anyway, I don't know if that's what his angle was. And later, people were like, "You're not going to scrap it. You won't get anything for scrap." So then he was like, "Okay, I shouldn't have said scrap. I'll just say part out. Okay, if the car doesn't sell, I'm parting it out." But really, you sell a bunch of parts off of it. It's a lot of work. You're now committed to all that. So is it really worth it? I guess it is for some people. I think what happens is a lot of people start selling parts. They'll sell the engine, the tail lights, the front bumper, and maybe the transmission, and that's about as far as it goes. If the seats are really nice, maybe, but the good parts get sold first, and then the rest of the car sits because nobody's really interested in the rest of it, and then they end up hauling it off to the junkyard and crushing it. And in this case, it has a spun bearing, so he's not going to be able to sell the engine for very much like that. And so he'll sell like the bumpers and stuff, and that's about all he's going to get out of it. Now, there is a chance that the guy will part it out, and somebody else will buy it as a roller, put a Coyote in it, race it, put it in a cage, put a cage in it and stuff. And that's okay. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell. But I just want to look at some of these pictures of how nice of a car it is. Look at that engine bay. It's beautiful. That's a 99 Cobra engine. And I know the 99s had some issues. They had recalls, stuff like that. But for a daily driver, I daily drive my Mach 1s. And man, they are great cars just for low-end torque and cruising around and everything. They're just awesome. So here's some interior shots. It looks pretty clean. It looks like somebody has enjoyed this car and taken good care of it. So it's sad to see this car that's possibly going to be parted out just because of the value of the car and the title issue. I would hope that somebody saves it. And there are people that said PM sent, personal message sent. They're interested. They're going to try to get it. Hopefully the guy will just stop trying to get like too much for the car and be willing to give it to somebody who's willing to drive it. Now there is a chance though that somebody's going to try to get it cheap from him so they can part it out. So that would be a lose-lose situation there. But anyway, I love these cars. I feel bad to see that they're disappearing like this. I've already made videos about how these cars are disappearing. People agree with me. We won't know until they become very rare and people start wanting them again, how hard it's going to be to get these. That's why the Fox bodies had gone up in value, because the people who grew up with them, who love them, are the ones who are getting older, they're getting money, and they're deciding they want to go back and get the cars that they had fallen in love with before. And then there aren't any left because they're all rusted out or gone or wrecked. And so I think these things are starting to disappear. I'm watching this right before my very own eyes. I grew up going to the showroom at Ford and looking at these New Edge Mustangs when they were brand new and just wishing I could have one. And I'm watching them go from desirable to used to parted out and stripped and gone. And there are going to be a lot of them out there like the ones I have that are kept really nice. But then again, I see a lot of them that get wrecked. People who take good care of them have them just get totaled and wrecked, and not because of anything they did wrong. And now they're looking for another one. And when that happens, good luck, right? So anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed this and agree. Put in the comments what you think. Tell me if you think that I'm crazy for thinking that this car is not worth saving, or tell me if you think it is worth saving and if you would be happy to drive it. Because I know a lot of you have, V6s or GTs or cars that aren't Cobras. Not that those cars are bad, but I think there's a lot of people who respect these cars and would love to have one.